Let's have our first real grammar lesson on the plural of nouns. As we've seen in the vocabulary, nouns in Dutch are called zelfstandige naamwoorden, meaning independent or self-standing name words. The majority of the nouns use en to put them in the plural, so you add en at the end. It's usually the case when ending in a consonant, for example, vriend becomes vrienden. If there's a single vowel just before a single consonant, as in kennis, you double the consonant, so it becomes kennissen. If there's two same vowels before a single consonant, like the double O in dialoog, the vowel becomes single. For example, dialogen with one O. One additional rule is that if there's two vowels plus an S in the end, as in huis, the S changes into a Z. So one house, huis, becomes huizen in the plural. A special case are the nouns ending in er, en or el. They get an S at the end. For example, vinger, finger in Dutch, becomes vingers in the plural. If a word ends with a vowel, add apostrophe S, we can see fotos, plural, which is photos. Big surprise, it means photographs. However, if the noun ends with an E, normally you add an S or an N if the noun is based on an adjective. For example, we've seen that the adjective independent means zelfstandig. The noun zelfstandige means a small business owner, so we add an N since the noun is based on an adjective. That's zelfstandige.
So I added this lecture to the course quite early in the course because I wanted to explain to you something about the Dutch grammar. It's very similar to English. So the thing is that when you're learning grammar in Dutch, it can get very, very difficult. And those rules that you've learned now about the plural in Dutch, they're the basic rules. It gets much, much, much more complicated than that. Just to give you an example, the plural of pad, that means either a toad, or a small alley. So if it's a toad, de pad, then the plural is de padden with double D-E-N. However, if it's the plural of a small alley, then the plural is de paden. So the plural depends on the meaning of the word, and that's very, very weird. But that's just to give you an example of how weird it gets and the importance of learning the basic rules instead of all the rules. And you have to practice as well a lot. So the more you hear Dutch, the more you'll understand. Well, you'll feel a little bit the difference between whether you have to add en or s at the end, or even a more difficult one.